6 seconds. This is the average amount of time a recruiter takes to decide if a CV or resume is interesting enough to continue or to move on to the next one. And today we're gonna find out what you can do to improve your chances. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Chris and today we're gonna talk about the do's and don'ts of writing a good resume. There are a couple of simple tricks that you can apply to improve your CV instantly, and in some cases you can even set yourself apart from your competition. In the last 15 years, I've built up teams for various industries, and I conducted well over 300 interviews with developers. For this to happen, I had to go through more than double as many resumes and CVs. And the next points are my takeaways that might help you. So let's get started. Number 1, fonts. You wouldn't believe how many people get this simple thing wrong. I sometimes get CVs with 5, 6, 7 different fonts, and trust me, that does not look great. Stick with 1, maybe 2 fonts, but don't go overboard with 5, 6, 7 different fonts, because this will look messy and you don't want that. When it comes to the choice of fonts, use something simple, elegant, modern, something like Helvetica, Arial, Roboto. Those kind of things will help to deliver your message the right way. If you use a font that is playful or from a movie or something like this, it will give the recruiter the wrong idea. Of course, if you're a designer, I'm sure you studied it, go for it by all means, but for everybody else that does not know how exactly font faces work, stick with simple options that are working well for everybody. Number 2, Progressbars. Please stop using Progressbars. They're the worst. Somebody in the 17th century invented them and we are still using them, and I still don't know why. It is a feature that is massively overused in resumes, and I see it all the time still to date, and it really does not help. Just think about it. Let's say you put React at 80% in your resume. What does it mean? Does it mean that you only understand 80% of React, and how could you tell if you don't know 100% of React? Or does it mean that you stopped learning at 80% of your course? It really doesn't tell anything realistic. So just stop using Progressbars, it will help you a lot. So let's get to number 3, content, the interesting part. So sometimes I get very strange CVs where I see lists of jobs, and every time there is only this one information: employee, employee, employee. And this is not really helpful. I mean, of course, you were working for this company, you were an employee, duh, but what were you doing there? What were your tasks? So this information is necessary for a recruiter or a hiring manager to understand what the person and what the job was about, to get a better picture. So put things there like in short bullet points, like you improved the process, you increased sales by X%, you led a team, you started a project. Things like that will help somebody to get a better picture of who you are and what you were doing. Use this space to really shine. So sit down and think about the tasks that you were doing and put together a small list of bullet points per job. And while you're at it, think about using an active language. Words like made, built, increased, improved. Those are the words that will highlight your achievements. Number 4, not enough content. I do get sometimes these questions by junior developers like, yo Chris, I'm new into tech, I just started out, I don't have any job experience. What can I put into my resume? And this is a fair question, right? You don't have this job experience, you can't fill up your resume, but there's something else that you can do. If you think about other industries, it's quite tough to fill in references that you obviously don't have. But in our case, we are quite fortunate. So you were learning at some point programming, right? You were going through a book, you were watching YouTube tutorials, and you were hopefully building projects, because this is what I'm always saying: build, because this is the only way how you can improve as a programmer. So you have those projects, Put them on some online code repository like GitHub, GitLab, or anything like that, and link those projects in your resume. Put a nice description there, maybe even a small screenshot there if you want to, but link those projects there so somebody that is looking at your CV can get access to this code and look at the code and get an understanding of on which level you are in programming and what you were doing so far. So use this as content instead of not having the job experience. It will help you so much. So let's get to the other extreme. Number 5, number of pages. So this is something that happens more to people with a lot of job experience. Like I see sometimes CVs with more than 10 pages with fully condensed information. And this is something that is just too much. Nobody has the time and energy to read the whole biography of you. So my advice is stick to 1, 2, maybe 3 pages. At 4 pages, it's a hard stop. There should be enough space already on 2 to 3 pages to put in a lot of information about you. If you think about it, a CV has just one purpose. It has to spark interest. So somebody is going through your resume and sees, okay, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. Great, I want to meet this person. And this is what you want to achieve. But if you put like 10 pages with fully condensed information there, it's just overwhelming. It's just too much information overload, and you don't want to have that. So keep those bullet points short when you describe your jobs. Don't use half of the page just to describe one job. Keep it short and sweet and spark the interest. And this is what you should achieve. Number 6, delivery. So I do get disappointed sometimes when a developer is sending me a Word document, because using a PDF nowadays should be a no-brainer. If you think about it, Word documents, there are a couple of things that could go wrong. For example, the font couldn't be embedded the right way, the formatting could be all over the place, your Word version and the recipient's Word version could be a different one. And in the worst case, the email scanner, the virus scanner, is removing the Word document attachment because it believes it could be a virus. So stick to PDF. It's quite easy to generate a PDF from the print dialog on any platform, and this will make sure that your CV always looks the way that you intended it to look like. This is why PDF was built for. Number 7, printability. So at some point your CV might get printed by a recruiter or hiring manager, and you have to think about what it will look like. Because just because it looks nice on screen doesn't mean that it's really readable on paper. Sometimes the contrasts could be completely different, and you might want to check this part. I know you might be tempted to use full solid colors or background images, but this is generally a bad idea because nobody really wants to use up half of their toner just to print one CV. What you should use instead is small icons or small graphics and here and there, but stay with the white background. This is most of the time the best option. Number 8, private information. So there are 2 sides to the story. On the one side, you have people that will say, yes, include your age, your birthday, your gender, religion, how many kids you have, hobbies and so on, because this will make you more likable, more personal and so on. And then you have the other side where people will say, well, this is really an invasion of my privacy and I don't want to share this information. Some people might even say that, well, because of my age or because of my gender, I won't get hired, so I don't want to include it. So this is a really tough topic, and it's really hard to find the right solution for this. For myself, I don't include any private information because I don't think it's really relevant for the job, what hobbies I have or what age I am or how many kids I have. But you will have to decide for yourself because I think in most cases it's used just to fill content if you don't have enough, but I told you already how you can fill up content, so you don't have to resort to those kind of details. Of course, if you have hobbies, let's say something like a meetup, when you're organizing meetups, then this is something that should find space in your CV because it's relevant to the job or to the industry that you're in, right? But anything else, I think it doesn't make much sense. But in this case, you really have to make up your own mind. So go for it, include it or don't. It's completely up to you. Number 9, align your CV to the job. So I know that many people have one standard CV they crafted and they send it to any job offer they can find. And this is not bad particularly, but you can improve a lot on this part. Try to read into the job offer that is there, right? So every job has some specifics that are more asked for than others. So let's say you are a front-end developer and you're doing React and Angular and Vue, and there is a job offer that is targeting React developers, then of course you should put React as the number one thing in your summary, in your CV, right? So you should push in this direction. Or let's say you're doing front-end development and you're doing online marketing and maybe a little bit of back-end development, and there is a specific job that you're looking for and this is about online marketing, then you shouldn't start with, hey, I'm a great front-end developer and I do online marketing as well. So you start with, I'm an online marketer and I do as well front-end jobs. So try to read into the job offer that is there and have multiple versions of your CV so you can send those for the specific jobs, and this will give you an increased advantage for getting this interview that you're looking for, right? Number 10, important things first. So if you remember at the very beginning of this video, I said you have 6 seconds to convince a recruiter or a hiring manager to be more interested in you and to give you a chance for an interview. So let's talk about structure in general. What should your first page look like? There are 3 information points that are really important on your first page. First of all, about you and how to contact you. So your name, your private details, your contact details, these kind of things. The second thing is a summary. 2-3 sentences about you, some high level of you, to give somebody an idea who you are and what you did so far. So think of it like, I'm an online marketer. For the last 10 years, I was building up teams and was working in this and that industry and made a couple of projects, something like this. Just to give a brief overview who you are to somebody that doesn't know you. And then the third point is your job history, specifically your last job. So you start in history going backwards and say, this is your current job or the last job you were in, and then you go backwards in time. I saw sometimes CVs where people started with their education, where they go from primary school, secondary school, all to university, and then somewhere on the second page they come to the first job and so on. And this leads only to the situation that your recent job, which is actually the most interesting information to the recruiter, lands up on the second or third page. And this is a bad thing. You don't want to go there. So think about the structure, contact details, summary about you, and immediately your job's going backwards in time. This should give you a really good structure and the best use of the 6 seconds that a recruiter gives you. Number 11, the tech stack. This is something very relevant to our industry. You want to include this in your CV. We talked before about the progress bars. You don't want to have progress bars, but you want to have a list of technologies that you know and know how to use. 10 to 20 technologies, shouldn't be more. Find a space on your first page of your CV and put them there. Because what a recruiter does is he scans or she scans through the CV and looks for those specific keywords. And somebody's looking for a React person, they will find React. Somebody's looking for a Java person, and they're looking for Java. And as I said before, look at the job profile. Try to read into it and see how you can use this information for yourself. So if there is a reason for that, change the sorting order of those technologies that are meaningful to this current job offer. So this is very important information, and make it really accessible and readable, and put it on the first page, because those are really important keywords for every recruiter and hiring manager. Number 12, typos. Very important thing. So what happens with your code if you have typos? It will lead to runtime errors or compile time errors, and it's not a good thing, right? So the same applies to your CV. You don't want to have typos there, because people might get the idea that you're not taking this whole thing seriously enough. So what you should do is you should use tools like Grammarly or auto-spelling or autocorrect from your operating system to improve your CV, to get rid of those typos. And ask your friends to proofread it a couple of times. They will always spot something that is still out of place. And I know that not everybody is a native speaker in English, so if you know somebody that is an English native speaker, ask them for help. Most likely they will help you get rid of those last mistakes, and this will make your CV look so much more professional. So this is important. Take care of this. Now that we've completed the dozen, I think there should be one more. Let's call it the bonus tip. You know, you don't have to write your own CV. Well, you kind of do, but what I'm talking about is you can use templates. There are marketplaces that will allow you to buy for little to almost no money really good looking templates. So you can use it with your graphics program and put in only your content, your education, your jobs, your private details and so on, and this will create a really nice looking CV for you. If you don't want to use a graphics program, there are other options, online versions of the same thing. Just go to Google, type in resume generator or resume builder, and you will find plenty of options. Some of them are free, most of them are paid, and this is something that is not really expensive. I mean, it's I think like $10 or $20, and if you think about it, it's an investment in your career. I mean, you're willing to pay for a monitor, for the hardware, for the training, for courses and so on, so why not invest as well in your career? And a good looking resume will give you a better chance to get this interview that you're looking for. And yeah, just give it a try. I think it's a good thing to invest in your career in this way. And let me know in the comments what worked for you, what you think looks nice. And yeah, I think this closes the topic for today on how to make your resume look better. And I want you to think about this one thing that I mentioned in the very beginning. Think about those 6 seconds. Those 6 seconds that a recruiter takes to decide if he or she wants to continue with you or not. So make those 6 seconds count. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that I could give you valuable information that will help you in your career. And if you would be so kind, hit the like button and subscribe. This would really help me to grow my audience. I'm just in the beginning right now. And if you're interested in, I'm as well on Twitter. You can find me in this under this username. So I hope I will see you the next time. And as always, I wish you bug-free code. Thank you for watching.